Good morning. This is Keloland on the go with all you need to know in news and weather as you start your day.
Police are investigating 4 shootings in Sioux Falls over the weekend. 2
of the shootings involved large gatherings of people. The most serious injury happened when a bullet hit a bystander in the pelvic area.
A police spokesman says having 4 shootings in one weekend is unusual.
I would say it's probably concerning that we have people that are willing to pull out guns and fire them in or around crowds of people. Obviously, it's not a safe situation, and you really can't predict when something like that can or will take place.
No arrests have been made, but investigations are underway.
We have an update on recent death investigations at the state penitentiary in Sioux Falls.
The Attorney General's officials office plans to have a news conference today to announce indictments in connection with 2 inmate deaths, along with charges in connection with a recent disturbance.
We'll carry the news conference live on Keloland.com. It's expected to get underway at 11 o'clock Central Time.
Starting next week, drivers will have some new rules to follow related to the move over law.
Currently, drivers must move to the furthest lane or slow down when passing emergency lights stopped on the side of the road.
The difference with the law that's coming out now that will start in July talks about emergency vehicles or vehicles that are stopped on the side of the road with those amber, blue, or yellow lights. And then what is added into the law talks about vehicles that are occupying the outside of the road there.
The updates go into effect on July 1st.
Now let's get a check of our weather with meteorologist Brian Karstens. Good morning, Brian.
Good morning, Travis. Good morning, everybody. We're watching your weather today. Temperature-wise, we're going to be back in the 70s across most of the east and the southeast. Sioux Falls 74, Chamberlain 77. A couple of isolated showers and thunder showers have been rumbling in the east too. But we are focused more West River later this afternoon and tonight. Severe weather is in the offing for the Black Hills region. And coming up, we're going to be tracking that, plus the potential for some locally heavy rainfall the next 36 hours, East River and in the southeast. So we'll get to that story too coming up.
Thank you, Brian. The construction on Cliff Avenue is impacting more than just morning commuters.
Local businesses near the construction site in Sioux Falls are saying it's difficult for customers to find their shop, but there are still ways to reach them.
We usually tell people to come from Minnesota, and so there is a detour, which is very easy to navigate if you're coming down Cliff just to get over here. I know traffic on Minnesota has really kind of gotten backed up with the rerouting of stuff, so if they just follow the detour, it's really not bad.
The businesses are on 41st Street between Cliff and Minnesota Avenue.
The Brookings Police Department is working with the Brookings Regional Humane Society to help get animals adopted.
They do it through their Fur Friday program. Each week, someone from the department will do a photo shoot with an adoptable animal.
Obviously, we have a great love for the animals at the police department, you know, the ones that are here. So we just hope that it brings more attention to these guys and gets them the resources that they need to care for these animals and hopefully get these animals to a safe and loving home.
Lager was last week's pup, and he's still available for adoption. Dewey will be this week's Fur Friday animal.
People weren't the only ones trying to beat last week's heat in South Dakota. Bellefouche Animal Control say their officer relocated 4 young raccoons on Thursday. Authorities say they tried to cool off in a kiddie pool.
Officials are reminding people to not approach wildlife, and authorities say the best thing to do is leave them alone and monitor from a distance.
That's a look at some of our top stories.
Now let's get another check your weather with meteorologist Brian Karstens. Brian?
All right, our weather forecast here today. Well, there is a marginal risk of some severe weather tonight. I do expect, though, that most of the action here looks to be placed in the far west. That's a slight risk, including Rapid City and most of our Black Hills region. So just kind of be aware if the storms pop up in Wyoming. Again, later this afternoon, there could be some hail and wind with those. You can see some morning scattered rain northeast Nebraska trying to move north, but high pressure so far has shielded most of our region from any rain, at least in the last 12 hours. Could that change? Absolutely it could. We're watching the potential for some locally heavy rainfall tomorrow and into early Thursday. Again, this is going to come in just at least a couple of different rounds here. But the fact is that the southeast is where you're probably looking at the most tropical moisture in the depth of the atmosphere. So locally heavy rain can occur, and we'll be aware of that. You can see in the short-term forecast, most of the rain that is out there in the southeast today pretty scattered, not a real widespread rainfall at all. We've got temperatures here into the low to mid 70s for a high. Then notice your thunderstorms coming in out of the Black Hills in western South Dakota. And if those hold together, they would kind of rumble eastward here through daybreak tomorrow morning. That's one round of rain, and then another one that'll try to sprout later Wednesday night, sourcing out of northern Nebraska into southern South Dakota. So the farther north you live, you're probably not looking at as many rounds of rain. It looks a little bit more scattered through Mobridge and Aberdeen. The northwest Iowa folks, southwest Minnesota, definitely looking at some bigger potential for heavy rain there. What the main threat would be is some flash flooding, some urban flooding that can occur, street flooding, that type of thing. River flooding, not as much, because obviously we're not as wet going into this, but I would still keep an eye on just the general rainfall forecast as we nail down the particulars. Obviously, Thursday, Friday, we're warming up. Our 7-day forecast reflects that. And that's going to set the tone for the weekend. Hot and humid by Saturday. We're talking some storm action, too, here by Friday night. We could be looking at severe weather central into northern South Dakota, so keep an eye on that. Highs today, 74 in Sioux Falls, 75 Mitchell. Will end on our 7 days. And with those rising temperatures, again, those storms, a lot of details yet to work out as to where in the Dakotas we'll see that. But I would like to make that, at least that point known, that we'll be tracking the potential for some severe weather. That could include a lot of areas, including Aberdeen. Obviously, last weekend was really rough in North Dakota, so we'll just keep watching that as we get into the weekend. Otherwise, upper 80s, pretty likely. We could even nudge those numbers higher in Pierre. We've got some 90-degree temperatures forecast for Friday and Saturday. I know those are 20% chances of storms, but those are meaningful 20% chances. There's potential there for some really rough weather if we tap into all that heat and humidity. And finally, Rapid City. Some rain chances are coming up tonight and early tomorrow. Looking pretty good. A lesser chance, though, Thursday and then Friday. That, again, will hinge on those storms coming in with that next frontal system. Check out the details at KELOLAND.com.